This video is definitely not something easy to make for me, and I'm not even sure right now if I will upload this. But I'm going to do it anyways because I think that people need more of this, more reality and more honest talk. Because every single time I open my social media, I see in my feed a lot of success stories, how I achieved this, how I achieved that, how I became millionaire at 22, how I became an actress. And don't get me wrong, because that's awesome and I love hearing that motivational stories, right? That's one of my main reasons why I keep going. We need motivation and we need to see people that are in the point that we want to be someday, so we get inspired. Yes, of course, that's a very good thing and we need that. But at the same time, I don't know if someone feels like this, but sometimes I get tired because I feel like life is just an illusion and everyone else is successful, but not me. And I feel like I'm living in just another parallel world where my dreams are literally impossible. And that's why I'm making this video, because I think we also need this honest and real part of the story, not just the successful one. So I'm trying my best to not feel embarrassed because it's definitely not something easy to talk about, and especially if you are in your late 20s. But people like me exist. I'm definitely not feeling fulfilled in life right now. My dreams did not become true, most of them, though I'm definitely not where I thought I will be as a teenager when I will be 30. And I'm so close to 30 right now. For me, for example, it's more important the process than the goal. So I would love to see people's process. That's why I actually created this channel, because I want to share you my process. I want to share my struggles, everything that I'm thinking right now, everything I'm doing to get to my goals, everything I'm working on. I want to share everything from the beginning. So if someday I will be successful, I want you guys to see that even a normal person like me that is hopeless right now can get to her goals, so you can too. Because if I can do it and I can be the proof right now on this channel, then that means that you can too. And I want to be your motivation and your inspiration, of course. So this is my main goal with this channel, and I thought that it would be nice to be honest in the first time and share with you all my failed dreams, because this is something normal and dreams can also fail. And yes, it's embarrassing. Yes, I feel like a failure every single time I'm talking about this, but it is what it is, and you guys also need to see this part of the story, not only the successful one. So here we go. If this resonates with you, I will really appreciate your support, to subscribe, to leave a comment down below, and to like this video so I can do more. And I will feel really happy if just one person at least feel inspired by this, because I'm not even sure if I will upload this video. This video is not about me complaining about life or being the victim or crying. I'm just sharing my honest story because this actually happens a lot. And if you are in your late 20s feeling like you failed in life, you don't have that much time, you don't feel fulfilled in life, you are definitely not in the place you thought you will be at 30, then this video is for you. Yes, at some point in my life I was that super motivated girl that went for her dreams. My dreams were everything. I thought I will be a superstar, I will be this, I will be that, and I will make it no matter what. I was born to be a star. Since I was a teenager, everyone knew that I was born an artist, right? Because I loved to dance, I loved drawings, I loved everything that's art. One of my main dreams was to become an actress. So I loved everything that was around art. My very first dream in life when I was a teenager was becoming a manga artist. I love drawing. I was every single day drawing since I was very, very little. I don't even remember when I actually started drawing. So since I was very little, I started watching anime at the TV. So maybe that was something that inspired me. And that's how I started drawing manga. I also like traditional drawing. So if I saw a beautiful house, for example, I will instantly take my notebook and I will start drawing that house as a practice. But my main style was definitely manga. So that's how I also started drawing manga comics. And the very, very first money I earned myself, I think it was because of that. I was about 13 or 14 years old, I don't remember, and I won my first comic contest in the first place, and the prize was $300. And for a 14 years old girl, of course, that was a lot. That's how I bought my first camera. So of course I got motivated because of that, and I thought that this can be my real path in life, because after that I won more comic contests in the first place, like 2 or 3 more, I don't remember, always in the first place. So that's why I thought, yo, maybe this is my real path in life, and I'm so good at this that I can make it as a manga artist. So yes, I actually sent some of my manga sketches and ideas to publishers. Of course, my manga were never accepted because they were awful at that time. But the funny thing here is that rejection wasn't actually the reason why I ended up giving up on that dream. The real reason why I gave up on that dream was something else. When I actually started learning more about the life of manga artists, I realized something. Most of big manga artists spend their lives locked in a room, drawing always under extreme deadlines and always being stressed and burned out. Or at least that was the image of a big manga artist, right? We always see that picture of Oda sensei or big manga artists locked in their dark room with a lot of energy cans, coffee, super stressed, and that's the image of the manga artist. So years were passing by and I realized something that actually surprised me. Yes, I love drawing, but I didn't want my passion to become a torture in some point. So I made a decision that was so hard at that time for me. I will keep drawing, but just as a hobby. But I stopped chasing it as a career. Sometimes we do not abandon dreams because we fail. Sometimes we abandon them because we realize it's not the type of work or career we want in life, even though we love doing that thing. So after leaving behind my manga artist dream, then I wanted to become an actress. I think that that's something that was always with me. Still is one of my main dreams right now. I always wanted to be an actress. But this story is actually deeper than this. My mom was actually about to become an actress when she was young at a very, very important casting in Bucharest. And maybe that's one of the reasons why this dream was always around me. Important and well-known director at that time, I don't remember who he was exactly, but came to Bucharest and made a very important casting. So my mom also dreamed about being an actress when she was young, and she was like, okay, just let's try this, right? So she went to that casting showing one of her most beautiful photos. And by the way, she looked a lot like Elizabeth Taylor at that time. So they didn't call her until 3 months later. My mom literally forgot about that casting. And that director said that my mom is literally what he needs for the main role of his film. He literally chose my mom for the main role of his film over all the Romanian population. The problem was that my mom by that time was already pregnant. So she had to reject the role even though it was her dream, but it was like, I'm pregnant, you know, I can literally do nothing about that. He insists a lot of time saying that if she accepted, he will just pick her up tomorrow in front of her house with the limousine. So that was my mom's story. That was something that she always somehow regretted, of course. And I always say that I will make that dream come true, and I will do what my mom couldn't do at that time. I will always thought what will really happen if my mom just accepted that role. Maybe she had become a famous actress and gone to Hollywood, which was not that hard at that time. And maybe I will have more opportunities as an actress right now, but who knows? It was not just because of my mom failed dream, but because I always loved acting. I always loved cameras, as you can see. That's why I have 2 YouTube channels. So I started going to castings, a lot of castings, as many as I could. I was living in a small town and there were not castings at all. I even managed to move to Madrid when I was 21 because I thought that moving in such a big city like Madrid will increase my opportunities and I will have a lot more castings. But nothing ever happened. No big opportunity, no breakthrough moment. I was working, I even remember asking my boss several times to just let me go to this casting. And that's what I actually did. I went to castings and then I will run back again to work. I somehow managed to work as an extra for some Netflix series here in Spain. So there are chapters in Netflix where you can literally see me at the back. I was just an extra, but the experience was definitely worth it because I met a lot of people and I was right there in the set where the main actors and directors were recording everything. Spoiler, nothing happened anyway. So sometimes life doesn't close a door dramatically. Sometimes it just quietly never opens it. I'm not saying that my actress door is definitely closed, and if it's closed, I will definitely open it someday because that's my main dream. But yes, I'm hopeless right now and life just passes and my opportunity seems like will never come. Definitely not giving up on this dream, and I'm pretty sure that I will become that actress someday, even if it's just in my YouTube channel or on social media. It's acting anyways. That's why I love cosplay. That's why I love performing my favorite characters. And even if I'm not a Netflix series actress, I can feel that character. I can feel performing, and I think that's the most important thing. So let's see if I can at least fulfill that dream someday. At the same time, when I came to Madrid and I was going actively to every casting that I had here, I had also another dream, which is entering an art college for artists. I don't know how to say that. Like, it's not for traditional art, like for drawings. It's for performing, it's for singers, it's for actors and all that stuff. So you enter that college literally like as a trainee. They will teach you how to sing, how to dance, how to perform. It was a little bit of everything, and that was like perfect for me, of course. I love dancing, I love performing, and I want, of course, to learn how to sing. And it was a 4-year training for singers and actors. And guess what? I actually got accepted. And I was literally so happy at that time. Imagine, like, I was 21, I was working in Madrid, I was sharing an apartment with some roommates, I was entering my dream college, and I was actively going to castings. I felt like life was finally starting for me and that I was fulfilling my dreams. I was in the right path somehow. I just entered this new job and I thought, okay, now I will have money to pay for this college. I even paid for the tuition fee. But just 1 week later, the job I entered suddenly reduced my working hours without noticing. And of course, that will also reduce my salary. So I realized something terrifying. I won't be able to pay for the following years of my college. So I had to give up again on one more dream in just 1 week. My dream lasted exactly 1 week. Yes. Sometimes dreams collapse overnight, and this was one of them. Because I don't have money to pay for what I want to study. And even though I was working, it was not enough because I had to work and I had to pay for my apartment, I had to pay for my food and everything. And paying also for my college, it was too much. So I just couldn't afford that. Another dream that I had was modeling. So I was in Madrid, I was in a big city with big opportunities, and I thought, why not? Because I also love photography and I love modeling. I was also looking for a modeling agency, and most of them were asking for money. And right now, of course, I know that that was a scam because they can't force you to pay $400 for them to make your photo book. But those are things that, of course, I had to learn somehow the hard way. One day I was at the runway with a collaboration. Basically, it was not a paid runway, and I meet someone from a modeling agency. She told me that I will feed her modeling agency and to join it, and that's what I did. So I joined a new modeling agency, and I was paying about $80 per month because it was also an academy, and I thought that's perfect because I also want to learn things about modeling. I stayed there for 6 months, and it ended up being just a scam again. She was promising us huge opportunities from the beginning. It was a trap, of course, because we didn't even had a paid modeling job working with that agency. That's pathetic. I left that modeling agency in the end, but I also lost around $1,000 investing in a scam agency. Then I joined another modeling agency which was free, so it doesn't matter if it's a scam because at least it's free. And I did some runways with that new modeling agency, but I was awful as a model. My catwalk and my presence as a model was actually awful. Like, let's be honest and let's face it. So one day at the last runway I actually did with that agency, the woman director of that agency, let's say, told me something that I still remember because it hurt. And once I finished my runway pass, I remember I got in the dress room and she told me something like, yes, maybe you are a good artist, you're so creative, but you will never be good as a model, my love. This is not for you. Forget about this dream. And she left. And I was like, okay. Even though she was kind of right, that was of course a very mean way to say that. And I felt even more disgraced and even more tired. Really felt awful. And I felt like I'm not good and I will never be good as a model. That moment hurt more than expected. So I somehow stopped trying after that, even though modeling is something that I still love. Sometimes a single sentence from someone can feel like the end of your dream. And I don't know, it was maybe because I felt so tired at that time. I was trying everything and anything was working. I felt so dumb, I felt ridiculous on that runway. As I mentioned before, I always loved dancing, so of course I also had a very obvious dream, which is becoming a K-pop idol. I opened my main YouTube channel back in 2010 just for the purpose of uploading my dances, and that's what I did. I love dancing. Of course, the K-pop boom just happened and everything was around Korean songs and K-pop. So when that boom happened, I started realizing that maybe it can be an actual career. And when I was 18 years old, I remembered someone tell me that You know what? My girlfriend also loves dancing, and she just sent a random video of her dancing in her room in one of these Korean entertainment companies. It was SM. So he told me, why don't you try that? Maybe they also call you, and maybe you can go to Korea and start your career as a trainee. And I was like, yeah, that's actually a good option. Why not? At that time, K-pop was just starting to be a thing here in Europe. So it was not something super, super popular at that moment. And Blackpink wasn't even a thing at that time. I remember it was around 2013, I guess. So actually, that was the perfect moment for me to try. K-pop was just starting, and they were actively looking for a lot of trainees. But you know what? I was so dumb. I will send them my material, I will send them my dances, but let me practice more. Let me practice more, let me get this done, let me get this perfect first, and after that I will send them all my material. And guess what? That day never came, because I pursued perfectionism so much that I actually never took action, and I learned from that. And that was probably the coldest years to try to be a trainee if you really wanted to be in this K-pop industry. And I was 18 at that time. Of course, now it's too late. So when I was 22, 23, I realized that maybe it will be too late if I still trying to be perfect, and I actually have to take action and send them my dances even if I'm not perfect. I started training seriously again. I started dancing about 3-4 hours a day. I actually did a list of all Korean entertainment companies, and I was sending them all my dances at least every month. I literally imagined myself flying to Korea and passing that audition. I imagined myself at the stage, and I imagined myself being a trainee multiple times. In my head, I could see the whole story. I was so confident about that. And that's how more years passed away, and now I'm 29. And honestly, it's too late to try that path. And being honest, I don't even know if I right now would like to be a K-pop idol. Like, I think that my passion, my real passion in life is acting. So if I can choose between being an actress and a K-pop idol, I will definitely go for being an actress. So maybe that was not my path. But yeah, that was just one more dream that I tried and I failed. After realizing it's too late to keep working on that K-pop idol dream, I had another dream. I will focus on being a millionaire. I started taking my entrepreneurship career seriously enough when I was 25. Now I'm 29 and I'm definitely not a millionaire. So it's definitely not happening. So if we look at it objectively, most of the dreams I had growing up never actually happened. How I should feel about that? Of course, I try to keep myself motivated, like it's not the end of the world. I still have time. That doesn't mean that I can't make my dreams come true now, right? But at the same time, I'm also feeling tired and exhausted, because just imagine working on your dreams when I was a teenager and in my 20s, and literally not achieving anything, not a single dream. I never had a single opportunity. I never had a single door opened. And sadly, most of the goals I couldn't achieve was because of money. And that's why being a millionaire right now, even if it's after 30s, I don't care about age anymore. Money is just a tool. I know that I can be an actress even if I'm broke, but as you can see, that's not happening. And if something happens out of all these things, that will be wonderful. But if not, the only way I have to get to that goal is by having money. Money can help you achieve your dreams. And that's why I rush so much on being a millionaire, not because of the money, but because I feel like maybe it's too late and I need that money to pursue my artistic career, my dream life. I will keep working on my dreams. I will keep working on being a millionaire, and let's see what life has prepared for me. Sometimes we think that life has a specific timeline, and after 30 you should have everything figured out, but that's definitely not true. And you can find yourself at 30 not achieving any single one of your dreams, and that's normal. Not everyone figures out life before 30. And maybe dreams aren't meant to be followed exactly as we imagine. Maybe they're just clues pointing us a direction, a different direction we never thought about. So today I'm still trying to build a life that feels meaningful. I'm still trying everything, and maybe that's what your 20s are actually about. Not achieving every single dream, but discovering who you really are and what you really want for this life while chasing them. So if you're also approaching 30 and feeling like you failed your dreams or your life, maybe you didn't fail. Maybe your story is just unfolding. If you like this video so far, and if you want to follow my path, if you want to follow my journey, please make sure to subscribe, and I will be so grateful if you can leave me a comment down below so we can talk. Pretty sure that you have also failed dreams, so I would like to hear from you guys. I'm reading every single comment and I'm answering every single comment because I love to talk to you guys. And if you like the vibe of this video so far, now go watch this one because it's very similar. I'm also opening up and telling you how I also failed at my last year vision board. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in that one. By the way, look at my Gorillaz t-shirt, okay? Look at this. It's from my favorite Gorillaz album, Demon Days. I love it, and that's why I'm wearing it right now for this video. I have to show it, okay?